You often hear us talk about the mid-size automotive segment, and it's an important one where a lot of people shop. But these days, one that is really gaining traction is the compact sedan market. And that's because automakers know that people don't have tons of money to spend, but they want all the features that some of the larger cars have. That's why cars like this 2016 Nissan Sentra are so important to the market. You want small, you want affordable, you want good fuel economy, but you also want some nice amenities. Now, the compact sedan segment is a crowded one, so you have to do a lot to stand out. That's why this car, the Sentra, is now in its 7th generation, and it got to its 7th generation way back in 2012. Times have changed. This is 2016, so they've updated it. They've freshened it up. You can tell right away just by looking at it. Up front, the fascia is different. It now ties in more with the family. It looks like the Altima, it looks like the Maxima, and this face got its start when they redesigned the Murano. They've also incorporated the different headlights and taillights that you'll find on other Nissan product. Now, this car gets a lot more pumped up. It's got better looking fenders. It's got nice looking wheels. But a lot of the really important changes to the average buyer happened inside the car. Now, before we dive into all those nice new features inside the car, under its skin, I want to talk about what's going on under its hood. Every version of the Sentra comes with this 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine, and it's good for 130 horsepower and 120 pound-feet of torque. Unless you get the base S trim, you're gonna get a CVT, the Xtronic gearbox. The actual Sentra S, you can get it with a 6-speed manual. But every other trim, you're gonna get that CVT connected to this engine. And that's fine because it actually gets better fuel economy. Around town, you're gonna see 29 miles per gallon, and on the highway, you're gonna get very close to 40. And those are according to the EPA estimates, 38 highway, 29 city. And that's pretty darn good, and that's one of the hallmarks of this class and a car like the Sentra. I told you that Nissan made the interior space of the Sentra nicer, and I wasn't kidding. There's all kinds of things available now on the higher level trims. The base trim is the S trim, and it's a bare bones, no frills car. Step up, this is the SR. It's one away from the top SL. There's also an SV trim. But in the top upper trims, you get things like this 5-inch instrument cluster display screen, which gives you all sorts of info. You can get this really nice larger screen here for your infotainment needs and your backup camera. Now there's also available items such as blind spot monitoring. There's tons of safety features like forward emergency braking. You can get intelligent cruise control. There's available dual zone climate control. Things that are typically available in more expensive vehicles have filtered down into this segment. Another thing that's kind of nice is keyless entry. You can leave this in your pocket. You can just step on the brake, start the car, and then you're ready to see how it drives. Now, despite the fact that this is an affordable economy car, Nissan has paid attention to how it drives too, in terms of its chassis dynamics. The body's 10% stiffer, the spring rates and the damper rates have been improved, and it's all designed to give you a better driving experience. There's also something called a Drive Logic system, which you can put it into an eco mode, you can put it into a sport mode, so you can change it up a little bit. Now, this is not a sports car, it will never feel like a sports car, but that's part of the problem that I think with the current crop of all Nissan vehicles. To me, Nissan has been a brand that's always made vehicles that were slightly more engaging, in the same vein as a Subaru and a Mazda. It feels like they've gotten away from that a little bit, and there's nothing to really get too excited about here with the Sentra. Now, this is better than the car used to be when it first debuted. Those chassis changes have helped it a lot. And again, you're not paying a lot of money for a car like this, so you shouldn't expect to be getting the Maxima. The Maxima is an example of a car that does retain Nissan's sporty driving heritage. But here, you know, you have your Xtronic transmission doing its best to get you the best fuel economy. You have an electronic power system that doesn't give any feel up through it at all. You can't really tell what the front wheels are doing. You just know that it's saving you some fuel economy by not using a hydraulic system. So you're gonna earn your great city and highway fuel economy. One of Nissan's biggest hurdles to overcome is its own segment. There are so many great entries out there. Another thing is that people shopping in this segment are so price motivated that they're not stuck in looking at just sedans. They might consider a car like the Volkswagen Golf, which is great, but there's also the Ford Focus, there's the Chevy Cruze, there's the entry-level Subarus, there's the Hyundai Elantra, there's the Kia Forte. There are so many vehicles out there to choose from. The Mazda 3 hatch is a great example of one that could transcend the segments a little bit. That's the Sentra's biggest hurdle, is that there are so many great options. The Sentra doesn't offer anything necessarily game-changing, whereas some of the other entries out there might have superior drivability or just have greater options for a greater price. Speaking of price, that's where the Sentra can stand out a little bit. The base version, the S, starts just under $17,000. Now, this one we're driving is one off the top trim, and it has some options. It's $25,000. The highest MSRP before you add options, if you got the SL, is $22,000. Then obviously those options can push it to $27,000. If you pay $27,000 though for a Sentra, you're crazy and you should shop around a bit. If you pay low 20s for the mid-grade Sentra, it's fine, you're doing okay. You're getting an attractive vehicle with great fuel economy and some decent options. But again, like I said, the biggest hurdle facing the Sentra is that it doesn't do much to stand out. Yes, it has the good freshed up looks for 2016, and it gets the good fuel economy that I noted. These seats are comfortable, the styling's attractive, but there are other areas where I'd look first. I'd consider the Focus. I would definitely consider the Elantra. I would, because I like to cross shop different segments like I mentioned, I would absolutely consider a Volkswagen Golf. So the Sentra gets lost in the shuffle a little bit, and you know, it's a shame because it's a decent car, but maybe it's the car's own fault because it's not a great car.